This is Lee House 777. Now, this is the way that the House of Apollo, those who bear the crucifix, take something holy or something noble or good and twist into what they want it to be with a lie. The example would be this Devin Gibson. On this video, Jordan Peterson leaves Joe Rogan speechless about the Bible. He's talking about the perception and why people would base something on a lie.
Resolution representation of that inside you, and then you listen and see through that. And so it isn't that the Bible is true, it's that the Bible is the precondition for the manifestation of truth. Way more than either way. It's the only way we can solve the problem of perception. Oh, good night.
And this fool is going to say that it's about promoting the House of Apollo. In the next part of this, you're going to see Devin of the House of Gibson is going to switch and take away of Jordan Peterson's dialogue with Rogan on his podcast about perception, about the way people build stuff off of a lie. And he's going to change it like a narcissist or not a narcissist, but a sociopath. He's going to say something favorable with a smile, and he's going to twist it, and he's going to force his own beliefs and promote it out. And by the end of the conversation, whoever will watch the video, they're going to be hearing what Devin Gibson says, not what Jordan Peterson meant. And this is the same way that the House of Apollo followers makes it hard to go save other people, because the more other races and other groups and gods want to help others by coming with new styles that was forbidden for them because of the House of Apollo's narrow-mindedness, they'll twist it up and say it was Jesus instead of it being, say, Krishna or Zeus or Iriseshat or Ananta Sesha or Vishnu. They'll twist it all over, no different than somebody who got the bad habit of breaking faith on their bride or groom, and then they'll make it seem like it's their bride or groom's fault that they had to put their dick or their phallus into another maiden's vagina and lied about it, or she had to let a man lay with her and lie about it. It makes it hard to help people because the House of Apollo will distort it like he's about to do. He didn't understand any stuff he said, but if he did, he got offended by it, but he's going to go promote his own belief system, which will only counter what the conversation was about. And you can see this all on YouTube.
Good night. This man, Jordan Peterson,
It starts with a compliment.
Of the Bible that I've ever heard in my life.
And now he's about to rewrite the explanation.
Himself questions internally and answering them all while Joe was just sitting there, cool, calm, composed, and silent.
It seems like
respect for Joe Rogan for just listening.
See, a sociopath, they like what Devin Gibson is displaying, and there's many like him, mostly religious zealots, is they start with a compliment or a smile and loud, excited voice, but you gotta look at their facial expression. He was upset, and you can't. It's a jealousy. He's going to try to top it off with his own personal beliefs again and re-promote the very religion that that Jordan Peterson was speaking against. He was talking about the way that religion takes a idea like, say, Henry Cavill or Christopher Reeves instead of, say, Kal-El, where Kal-El was actually around before Christopher Reeves was even spawned, or even that 2078 movie Superman came out. But most movies and stuff is based off of the Christopher Reeves portrayal of Superman. And so that idea becomes a foundation inside someone's mind. This was a dialogue about perception, the way that people build these false worlds, and he's going to change it to help him to take Jordan Peterson, just like the one in Nazareth happened with the Romans, where they turned him into their mascot, or they turned Siddhartha, the Buddha, into the mascot for the Nesian Buddhas, or they doing so with Prince, and so on and so on. This is a sociopath, and this is religious zealots.
A+ example of great communication skills. And I'm amazed whenever I see a JP interview, a lot of them have been with women. They interrupt this genius of a man, and it just doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. I don't know about y'all, but at this point, I would love to see Thomas Sowell and Jordan Peterson sit down and have a honest heart-to-heart conversation. Exemplified right there, just listening to Jordan. Huge respect again. James said in James 1, verse 19,
See,
dear brothers, take note of this.
he just promoted his.
To listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. For man's anger does not bring about the righteous life that God desires. I threw in verse 20 on top of the 19 as well. So Joe exemplified right there, just listening to Jordan. Huge respect again. James said in James 1, verse 19, my dear brothers, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. For man's anger does not bring about the righteous life that God desires. I threw in verse 20 on top.
Let's see this hypocritical House of Apollo stuff that Devin Gibson sells. He got a whole lot of views, like many people on this YouTube who say they're about God, but they really seem to be about Satan. All his videos is inciting anger in men, welfare crisis. He rather not say what crazy can this maiden be for her ideas. BLM got owned, and you can see these titles yourself. All these savage, and it's a foreigner again. He just called Jordan Peterson a savage. Now he's saying all this is riotous. So we got, this is one who's representing the House of Apollo, or those with the crucifix, Yesu's followers, but because he sells the merchandise. And remember that the one in Nazareth was against people selling stuff about God in churches and in places like in temples. And this man, these people are liars. No other way to say it, because they twisting something good and maybe splendid and beautiful and making it into something ugly and turn into something to fit their engine. Someone who's righteous in their soul cannot be a part of it. He just said that he's stopping, that he quoted, and he did this himself, he quoted something about anger. A man causing anger who speaks fast. Are you listening to his vocabulary? He's speaking pretty fast. You ask people like this if they're racist, and they'll say no. But if you ever scroll on Devin Gibson's YouTube page, you'll find that every single article he got is something very degrading towards the darker skinned flesh of United States citizens. This is not, but you ask him, he'll say he's not racist and that he's just a proud United Statesman. But every article he puts out is spreading anger, upsetness, or dishonor towards these brown-skinned mortals. So, but he'll say he's not a racist. Every single one is an insult against brown-skinned mortals from the United States. But he'll say he's not a racist. He's doing the labor of God. We heard this before. We heard it when the tribe of Canes and the Mayans and the Aztecs got conquered by those who bore the crucifix back in 1513. We heard it before when they went to, those with the crucifix went overseas to Egypt and to Turkey and Ireland and to Britannia. And people didn't join them, they'll bleed them, they'll kill them. But they come in peace. But he's saying he's not racist. And every single video, him and his fiance, if they're not wedded by this point, is full of racism and anger and rage causing and upheaval. This is not the labor of God, this is the labor of Satan. Ashima, Raja.
On top of the 19 as well. So Joe did a phenomenal job of that, and everybody nowadays is so quick to speak up, and when your mouth is open, you can't learn, you can't take in and digest new information. That's why society's so closed-minded. They're in these little echo chambers,
and he's not digesting new data. He's going to shut it out. Classic sociopath. You speak to it's a form of insanity. He's not digesting. He's going to counter it with his own personal beliefs because it offended his beliefs, and he's going to speak more about what Jordan Peterson was speaking actually against. But he's doing it without Jordan Peterson's permission to take away his followers and to add towards their own. Divide and conquer.
When it comes to the Bible, people have actually used the Bible to separate rather than unite as it's intended to do. But everybody wants to actually use the Bible to separate rather than unite as it's intended to do. But
that's what he's doing.
Try to create their own thought process, create their own journey when the foundation's already been laid, when the path has already been set in the good book.
That's exactly what he's doing with his dividing the races. See, a sociopath, a zealot, they will talk about what they are doing, but they'll say it's somebody else doing it. You've seen people like this. You must have. That, oh, I don't have a problem with it personally, but somebody else might have a problem if they see it. Words and statements like that. Or, hey, you're offending those people over there, but you don't see no other people except the person in front of you talking about they're offended. They never take the credit for what they feel. They'll put their problems off and their feelings off on somebody else. It's no different if a child abuser or a person who abuses someone, if they go violate or abuse someone like a child, they'll tell the child that they did something to make them abuse them, that it was their fault. But it's not their fault for getting aroused and feeling it. Somebody who would walk down the street, somebody's house, and they know that it's a particular group who doesn't like them or they don't fancy at all, but they'll drop something in their mailbox or park halfway in their driveway, and then when they come outside, they'll say, oh, what's your problem? It's like they're in a bad mood today. Oh, they're going to pray for them, but they're the ones who are doing the labor of Satan, but they'll still want to act like that the person who they're attacking is doing the labors of Satan. What mean people who bears a crucifix, who follows Apollo, say that every other nation, every other people on this planet is evil and they're lost to hell, but the United States followers of the House of Apollo say hello, or have a hell of a moment, or hell no, or hell that, but they never say heaven yes. They never say greetings, salutations. But these other nations, other type of people, other cultures, and other people who are not from the House of Apollo, who don't have a crucifix, they don't say hello. They don't say hell this and hell that. But the House of Apollo people, they say hell. And they claim that they're following the Savior and the one of Nazareth. But they'll fight with Islamic people. They'll fight with Indian people. They want to make sure that only they could get in. That's segregation or racism, but you call them racist, you call it this, they say that, oh, something's wrong with you, what's your problem? But they're the problem.
Before leaving Earth, the 66 books that are truth, that I built my life in, that I wasn't raised in, but it changed my life. That's
Jordan Peterson just said in his statement that the Bible is not truth. And then this guy, Devin, decided to say that it is. Devin Gibson decided to say it is true after he just gave him a compliment. You can't insult and compliment somebody. You're like them. They're your comrade or they're your enemy, not confusion. Confusion is actually a satanic group in the land of shells below. And these are the techniques of the House of Apollo. They're liars. No, liar by definition is standing with the truth. This man and other people such as him are saying that they're not racist, that they're not causing these tensions, that they're about peace, but all their videos is put out is about violence. They pick Jesus or the one of Nazareth or that holy Bible, which is a version in itself by a ruler James, and he just calls it the Word of God. But Jamis, that means he's saying that man is God. They use clever words with their mouth. Spells, lies. Did anybody even ask the one simple question? The one who was on that, who got killed for, the one who came out of Bethlehem and the Nazarene, he wasn't a Christian. He wasn't a follower of that group. If anybody followed Christos, they'll be, or the one in Nazareth, they'll be following and doing what the one in Nazareth followed and believed in. And he expressed he believed in many gods. But this is not what his followers do. What follower you know would put, would wave somebody's body who got killed on their building if they liked them? That would count as more as an insult. Would you, if anybody's grandmother or son passed away, would they have their body on top of the building every twilight? That's more of somebody who killed them. Most likely, the house of Apollo killed him. They want to, if he did come back, if that was possible, then they would probably want just to find him to kill him again. So if the one in Nazareth, Bethlehem is out there, you probably want to stay hidden. Because they speak of peace and they speak in such a name that's not even in the Bible that they added in. Because Jesus is not in the Old Testament. And that was the name of Caesar Borgia. But they still don't say that. If you say that, they're going to use the data you get, and then they're going to say that you're the liar when they're the one who's lying.
Well as it deserves, but thank God for creating all of us and creating the Bible and speaking to man through a multitude of different ways from Genesis.
Do you hear what he just said? Jordan Peterson spoke to Joe Rogan that the Bible is not true. And then he's going to brush it all out, and he's going to still force his own belief and statement and say that God made the Bible. Even though right there on the cover it's written by, it's James' version, Yames's version, and even more the new modern New Testament version. Version itself means a copy, not the original. A replication. Not true. Unless he's saying that he thinks that Yames or Caesar Borgia is who he bows his knee to and offers the crucifix to. People, I'm not able to fight these battles towards you. You got to watch your souls. But if you're not racist, if you're not satanic, you see that beard on his face? That's the Satario. That's the race and the followers of Lucifuge, Letokotilic, the mother of Kali. And that's in the lands that's not in the heaven. It's in hell. They're called the hairy ones. Satario. A demon. Does this look like a god to you, or somebody who's on the side of God? Don't be deceived by the Liars. Someone of God doesn't sell their merchandise saying that God does, because even the one in Nazareth was against this kind of stuff. So this is not some good man, but this one has 581 comments and compliments, actually. And he's not doing nothing of God. Remember that beard. Remember this, because you've seen this. The facial hair, the beard. You've seen that, right? The bald head, the beard, the Satario, the devil. And also pay attention to anybody who says that Neptune or this sign here is good. They're satanic. You guys been infiltrated. So any of you who actually do believe in God or on the side of goodness, you need to watch who you let into your flock, because it could be a beast looking to see who it can devour. And next thing you know, it'll be lambs slaughtered by their own choice. And this is what you see. Check it out yourself. This is Lee House 777. Guard your souls.